Hey Wildcats, Mr. Graber here to announce some special award winners for January. So we will start with our Service Above Self, which goes to a third grader who goes above and beyond. And once again, just a reminder, this award is sponsored by our Rotary Club. So this month's award winner is third grader Addie Garrison. Congratulations to Addie. Our next awards are Wildcats of the Month, and just a reminder, they are sponsored by our Harrisonville Police Department, so we thank them for their support. Our first grade Wildcats of the Month are Lakin Dunsmore Walker and Dominic Harleman. Our second grade Wildcats of the Month are Colton Hess and Emery Sanders. And finally, our third grade Wildcats of the Month are Skylar Davis and Liam Ives. Congratulations to all of our Wildcat of the Month winners. And finally, Mrs. Sumner and I usually pick either a first, second, or third grade class to represent our counseling award. And we always look for students who have great discussion, who ask great questions. So for this month, I selected the third grade class of Mrs. Hawkins because they asked great questions. We had a great discussion about friendship. So that is this month's awards winner.
Hi Wildcats, it's time for our January awards. Today I'm going to present our character awards. The character trait awards are given to 2 students chosen by their classroom teacher who have exhibited self-confidence during the month of January. The recipients are always positive, have a good attitude, and are a wonderful example to their peers. Congratulations to our character award winners for January. Titus Tiemann, Parker Sharp, Allison Hall, Javriel Besserell, Lyra Dominic, Maverick Schlatzauer, Brantley Grau, Rooney Julian, Isaac Hebel, Ava Plant, Jackson Whelan, Hadley Wyatt, Easton Swift, Olivia Johnston, Tripp Williams, Wyatt Motzkus, Hope Langstrom, Dallas Hall, Charlie Bollinger, Will Miller, Araya Herndon, Caden Brown, Isabella Heron, Caden Bowers, Miles Cummins, Adeline Cheney, Kylie Johnson, Persephone Woodford, Katie Harris, Taylor Walker, Ben Miller, Leah Lake, Eva Claxton, Lily Thomas, Dallas Alley, Kendall Aviles, Mila Barrett, Charlotte Griffey, Wyatt Bird, Myra Gutierrez Jones, Zachary Pruitt, Paisley Figley, Max Talby, Everett Holbrook, and Ivy Masden. Congratulations to our January Character Trait Award winners.
Hello Wildcats. I'm here to present the Mathematician of the Month award. This award is given to one student chosen by their classroom teacher that has done an outstanding job with math over the past month. Whether in class participation, assignments, or practice, they have gone above and beyond what is expected to achieve more in math. Today we're going to present awards to our January mathematicians. Colton Nutter, Blake Smith, Alyssa Overcast, Gracelyn Barrett, Malachi Bickle, Lyrics Culver, Ava Middlemoss, Cash DeShazer, Cody Vanover, Matthew Inky, Aiden Pickens, Alec Dunham, Kalia Clark, Ethan Larkham, Cassidy Irvin, Britton Schroeder, Caleb Vanlist, Barrick Warner, Xavier Marin, Zachary Pruitt, Gracie Dahl, and Harper Handcross. Congratulations, guys.
HES, Coach Thorpe here. I am going to announce our sportsmanship class winners and individual winners. Our class award goes to Miss Knight's class. Congratulations, guys. First grade is Iris Britton and Jagger Stewart. Congratulations. And second grade is Nora Davis and Jack O'Connell. Congratulations. Third grade is Charlie Bollinger and Cooper Williams. Congratulations to everyone. Thank you.
Hi Wildcat family, it's Mrs. Henderson in the art room, and I'm excited to announce the, let's see, it goes back to November and December, artists from the Art in the Community program. These artworks got a little extra display, a little extra long display, so we're happy to have them back at school so I can return them to the artist. In third grade we had figure drawings where the students studied the wooden mannequin. We looked at proportion and how one arm's not just one shape but actually six. We also study proportion of height, noticing that an adult is about 7 heads tall. So the kids had fun with practicing and then putting their practice into their project. We have from third grade, Matthew Inky, Kaylin Holt, Adeline Garrison, Trip Williams, Briar Warner, and Briley Betts. Great job, third grade. From second grade, we had 2 projects on display. One of them was our eagle drawings. In the eagle drawing, we talked about filling the page and texture. And then we also had another batch of our 1-point perspective landscapes, which were on display as well. So I'd like to congratulate and thank Maggie Love, Lexi Gott, Kennedy Trainer, Titan Chastain, Gage Butler, Harmony Wallace, Allison Munoz Evans, Elena Thomas, Hadley Wyatt, Jack O'Connell, Felicity Gray, William Jang, and Remy Larkham. Second grade, great looking display. And from first grade, back in November, we had a lot of fun with a book called I'm Not Just a Scribble. And students had to talk about why it's good to scribble or why it's not good to scribble. And we actually talked about a technique called scumbling, which is controlled scribbling. And it is a texture drawing technique. So the kids created their own scribble characters and then did some writing. So this one says, I'm not a scribble, I'm a bug catcher. From first grade, we had Paisley Fegley, Ron Hall, Easton Anderson, Clara Bross, Naomi Haskins, Jackson Parkhurst, Scarlett Oldham, and Catherine McCain. So wonderful job, first grade. And as my classroom award winner, I want to give a shout out to Mrs. Studley's class. These kids are a lot of fun and a lot of energy, but they're doing extra help working as a team to help take care of their art supplies and a lot of creativity in that class. So I want to thank Mrs. Studley's class.
Hi Wildcats, I'm here to present to you all of our January music awards today. I'm going to begin with the class awards. We had a really tight race in third grade, but on the very last day of January, the class that pulled ahead was Mrs. Hassick/Geary's class. Congratulations. In first and second grade, there's 2 classes that just really soared this past month in music class, doing amazing things. In second grade, the Bravo Award goes to Mrs. Holman's class, and in first grade, it goes to Mrs. Brown's class. So congratulations, students. Next, I'd like to present our individual Music Star Awards, and I'll begin with the third grade classes. In Mrs. Brown's class, I want to congratulate Annalise Resch. In Mr. Barasco's class, Lincoln Fleshman. In Mrs. Comfort's class, Ashlyn Anderson. In Mrs. Hammond's class, Kaylin Holt. In Mrs. Hassick-Geary's class, Marley Spratt. In Mrs. Hawkins' class, Parker Fugate. And in Mrs. Hopper's class, Jackson Henderson. Then in our second grade classes, Mrs. Durnell's class, the award goes to Jade Hendren. In Miss Harrigan's class, Brecklin Wilson. In Mrs. Hastings' class, Aria Herndon. In Mrs. Holman's class, Adeline Cannonbly. In Mrs. Knight's class, Willow Person. In Mrs. Siegenthaler's class, Elio Ramirez. In Mrs. Studley's class, Everett Holbrook. And then in our first grade classes, the Music Star Awards go in Mrs. Brown's class to Grace Michaels. In Mrs. Cooper's class, Briella Roebling. In Mrs. Florence's class, Riley Lucero. In Mrs. Jackson's class, Scarlett Oldham. In Ms. Maxwell's class, George Wyatt. In Mrs. Mitchell's class, Ella Baldwin. In Mrs. Peterson's class, Maddie Wisdom. And in Mrs. Snyder's class, Naomi Hoskins. Congratulations, musicians.
Good afternoon, Wildcats. This is Mrs. Lawman from the library. I am going to be presenting our library award to a class that is super sweet every time they come into the library since the beginning of the year. They have been so well behaved, they follow directions, and they are great about getting their books turned on time. I have selected Mrs. Peterson's first grade class for the library award. Congratulations.